part of my issue is that I'm not that interested in what most men have to say.
Like,
so I go and I sit there and I talk about myself for like an hour.
yes.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Gin and Toxic.
Welcome back, baby.
You know what I realized the other day? That we never say our names in the beginning of the show, and like
no one
I don't
cares.
I don't know if anybody cares, but also like I feel like we're not at a
I'm
point yet that we
Christina.
could just like not say our name.
I'm Beauty Chicky. Thank you.
She's taking my identity, guys.
I want to be her so bad.
Hi, welcome back to Gin and Toxic. I'm Christina,
And I'm Lily. Did we used to do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I swear to God, we never did that. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, should we start doing that? Because like we're like established, but like not at the point where like
Not
new
at all.
listeners
No one knows
don't
who I am.
know.
Right. Hi, everyone.
Like the new listeners need to know especially if they're listening to voice only, they need to like what name goes.
Okay,
with
so
what
do you
voice.
hear? So that was Christina, the one with the like really annoying voice. That's
Yes,
Christina.
that's me.
And then
Hi.
this is me, Lily. I'm perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
Guess who's a Leo and guess who's not.
I've been such a fucking Leo lately. Like I keep calling myself out. Like I'm like looking at pictures of myself and I'm like, oh, can anyone just believe that this is even like,
I am amazing.
how is this
You're
even
not.
happening right now? Like
How is this happening right now?
I don't
No,
even
Lily
get it.
did a really really sexy little photo shoot the other day. I'm sure you guys will see it on our Instagram. when
It
this
shall
week,
be up
next week.
soon. And
Yeah.
like I only sent it to you and Jeff, but like Jeff, I sent it to him like late and he like woke up to it this morning and texted me back and was just like, oh, good.
No, I
fucking
also
morning.
woke up to it. I was
And
like,
you're just like, oh, I have a morning boner. Like
I woke up and I was like, thighs.
yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Put them in my face now. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thighs. Anyways, though, we have a really great episode for you guys this
Oh,
week.
so
we
good.
just finished recording with Leah Gans. She is the founder and chief creative officer at Les Miss NYC. We
yeah.
kept fucking up the name because I keep wanting. You guys know the play Les Mis or Les Miserables and whatever.
yeah.
That's what I
Hello.
keep thinking of. So I
You're
kept
like, is that
fucking
what
it
it's
up.
called?
Anyways, her and Lily go way back. LF, NYC, 2017. If you were there, you were
She's
there.
like the ultimate New York City cool girl, owns a boutique where the cool girls shop. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay,
no,
you're
she's
iconic.
awesome. And yeah, she was great.
boss.
Such
Yeah.
a natural.
Yeah, so
And
good.
Yeah, we
Like-
have yet to have like a
Young female business owner.
yeah, like a business
Yeah.
owner
And
like that on the
designer.
show yet. So yeah, it was really cool to like hear how she got started and just like all that stuff. And then obviously we touched on her dating life and shared some dating stories and stuff. Because,
Yeah,
you know,
it was so
it's
good though.
toxic.
It's like
Yeah.
inspiring. Like I just like love hearing people's stories
Yeah.
and like her stuff is so cool, you guys. And her recent collection is like so much black and pink. So we don't have merch yet, so just like go buy that.
Yeah, go by that. And she was so like, oh my God, I love when like you meet a person for the first time and you like I could tell it was gonna go good from the second she came through the door. Like
Yeah.
she felt like so warm and welcoming.
Yep.
When she walked in my
That's why I
apartment.
like when I saw she was opening the boutique. Like I've just been like kind of keeping up with her on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like we're not like good friends or anything, but like I've always just like been like rooting for her.
Yeah.
And like when I saw she was opening the store, I was just like, she's gonna be so good. She's just so personable
Yeah.
and like normal and just like cool. And I just feel like that's like the New York energy you need to like have a boutique.
Yeah,
here.
no, for sure. Yeah, so she was so cute, so amazing. Really great episode coming up for you guys.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, let's get into Toxic Thing of the Week. And boy, oh boy, do I have one for you guys this week.
God, Jesus Christ.
Another episode where we get called out for some shit we said on the show.
Oh, you guys, it's been nonstop this year, and I'm so, first of all, like the fan behavior, I just want to say, the fan
head on the
behavior, and you know what, I'm probably gonna get called out for this one too, but whatever. The fan behavior of like listening to our show just to like find things is
Yeah.
special. And like when men do it that like we're dating, I kind of get it, but like when other people do it that are like friends of the guy we're seeing, or like girls who have a problem or like whatever, I'm just like, you're spending your time listening to my show. That's like really special.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
Thank you for getting in my business. And it happened again. It happened again. But it took
Happened
Christina
again.
this time, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
to me, but also, to be totally fair, is well, okay. So let me give you guys the rundown.
No, it's like fine. But
No, it
it's
is
like
fine, but
unique
it-
for sure.
Yeah, definitely hit Lily when the beginning part hit her in a little spot.
I don't know. I just like don't listen to
just
podcasts of people I
skim.
don't love. But anyway,
Lily's gonna act up again on the show.
I know.
So
for real.
my toxic thing of the week is that I got called out by Big Jeans for going on dates with other guys. And how the fuck do you think he found out?
God forbid. I get
God
around
forbid.
town.
So what happened was, so as you guys know, if you've been listening to the show for, for the past 2-3 months, whatever, you get a feel for Big Jeans. You know that about like a month ago, I ended up telling Big Jeans just straight up, like, I really like you.
She was having a manic episode.
I know I was.
She called me. She's like, I'm just going to do it. And I'm just going to tell him I really like him. And I was like, oh, maybe don't. But okay.
That's a lie.
No, I was like.
You guys were rooting so hard.
No, I was like, tell him your feelings. But I'm not promising it's going to go well. But just do it anyway.
But anyways, so yeah, like a month ago, I call him. And I end up just being like, hey, listen, like, I actually like you more than a friend, and I really think that we would make a really good team, and we should totally date. Like, and
we should, like, probably date.
Yeah, we should date.
Like, now.
Yeah. And so here's the thing. So what I have been saying on the show and to all my friends, and I'm definitely not giving myself enough credit, is I'm always like, he rejected me.
Yeah.
He didn't really reject me.
He said, I don't want to date you, like, right
now. But also he explained to me, he's like,
and it was fair.
Yeah, he was like, fair. Yeah, he was like, I like you, like, more than a friend.
Days.
But like, early days. It was only like
what
a month
is this, Love Island?
It's early days.
I am clearly on episode 40 of Love Island right now. Like,
it was early days. But yeah, no, so he was like, I like you more than a friend, but like not that much, because I'm a slow burn. Like, it was, no, I feel like I'm making it sound way worse than it was. But like, it really wasn't like
you
that
guys,
bad.
like, he's so blunt and honest.
Yeah,
like, he said it, and honestly, everything he said was true.
Yes. And it wasn't like in a way, because there's like a difference between like a I'm leading you on and a slow burn. It was definitely the slow burn. It like, I would be able to pick up, my bullshit radar is so high.
Yeah.
So if I could tell
and
that
we
he
know him
just
well.
wanted to like lead me on. Yeah. Exactly. So I didn't believe that was
he's not
happening.
some random dude. Like, we know him and how he is as a person and how he operates.
Yeah,
and he's like that with like all aspects of life.
Yeah.
Too.
So we're just like, so anyway, so he tells me that. And so we confirm that we are not exclusive. Like, we like each other. I definitely like him a little bit more than he likes me at the moment.
Love.
Yeah, but we just like confirm that we're not exclusive. Like, whatever. So because of that, I was like, well, we're not exclusive. I still really like him, and I still think that me and him should date.
I think we should probably date.
I think we should probably date
now.
But I'll just keep it in the back burner. I'm gonna continue seeing him. But I'm also gonna go on dates with other guys, because like, why wouldn't I? Like, and it wasn't like a thing that I was like, oh, I'm gonna get back on
all
the
your
apps
eggs in one
and,
basket. Like,
it wasn't like a thing where I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back on the apps and I'm gonna actively seek dates out. It was more of like if they come to me, if the opportunity presents itself, and like I think it's a guy worth going on a date with, then like, why not? Like, because he said we're not exclusive.
Yeah, and like, in a way, like, you have to like protect your heart a little bit, and not like, if you invest yourself in one person who's just not giving you the same energy, like, you're probably gonna get hurt. Like,
yeah. So as you guys know, I've been saying on the show over the past month, I've been on dates, with the therapist guy and the food blogger and, the Hawaiian dude, like all those guys I was like going on dates with, and I would openly talk about it on the podcast. Okay.
Because we have nothing to hide.
Right.
I probably should hide some things, but we have nothing to hide.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Can I shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
For once?
That's the thing. Unfortunately, I can't shut the fuck up.
I literally have tried my whole life. Yeah. And I can't.
So you see what happened now knowing that little backstory is, as you guys know, a few weeks ago, Lily ended up getting called out for talking shit about someone on the show. And we like brought it up on the show just very casually. I mean, like, Lily like made her toxic confession something that was like, oh, like, I got called out and sometimes I just need to like shut up, and that was like it, but we didn't really like address fully what it was, but like, whatever. Basically, Lily got called out.
Because I'm trying to be on my best behavior right now.
Yeah. So, obviously, so if you heard somebody talking shit about you on a podcast, and then you guys resolve it, you would probably listen to the next episode to see if they say anything else or if they address that.
Honestly, can't fault her for it.
No, not at all. So this particular girl,
but also like, stop.
So this girl who is friends with Big Jeans, whatever. I guess I don't fully know the story, but I'm assuming she obviously went back to the episode after that happened to see like if we mention anything about it on the show. Totally understandable.
Dying at what I said.
Yeah, because you were like just so like well,
I got fucking humbled.
Yeah. But anyway, so she went back to listen to that, is what I'm assuming. This is all assumption based, but whatever. Anyways, what she ended up hearing instead, because she's friends with Big Jeans, what she ended up hearing instead was me talking about the date I was going on with the therapist.
And she's like, but like all of his friends think that they're exclusive.
No,
so,
exactly.
So in her brain, she's like,
wait,
okay, whore.
Yeah.
Like,
so she's like, So she goes to Big Jeans and is like, hey, like, are you aware that Christina's going on dates with other guys? And Big Jeans is like, what?
yeah, because like obviously Christina would tell him if she was like hooking up with other guys,
of
or
course.
if she went on
I
a
was
date.
going on like a second or third date, like if it was gonna get serious with a guy. Yeah,
these were all like really random organic dates that just happened and became nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah. So she was like, hey, like, what's going on with you and Christina? Because are you aware that she's going on dates with other guys? And he was like, no. And she was like, well, I was just listening to their show, and she's talking about how she's setting up a date with this like therapist. When he said it, because he used that word on FaceTime, he was like, yeah, you were talking about going on a date with some therapist.
unfortunately, I would have laughed out loud. Like, really?
I did.
So good that
I
I wasn't
started crying,
there.
laughing. I was like, oh, the therapist.
It actually was like really great.
It was really good. And
I
then he
learned
didn't
a
text
lot.
me.
Yeah, that one.
And he didn't text me back. That guy. But anyway, so he was just like, you could tell. So, okay, so this all went down like 3 hours before me, him, Lily, and Work Bay were essentially going on like a double date to like this like event, like this like Beatles event for Casely. So he like FaceTimes me.
Shout out Casely, baby.
Yeah, shout out Casely. So yeah, he basically FaceTimes me 3 hours before the event, and he's like, hey, like, could I talk to you about something? And
I
I'm
talked
like,
to you about you being a whore for
like, what's up?
SAG.
Yeah. Like, and then he like says like, you know, how he found out, whatever. He was like, he's like, have you been on dates with like other guys? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, plenty. Wait, you haven't?
Yeah. Like, so he was just like a little taken aback, mostly because I didn't tell him that I was going on dates with other guys. And I said to him though, I go, honestly, like, because here's the thing. I already put everything on the table with this guy. So I was just repeating like what I was putting on the table. So I was just like, well, yeah, I've been going on dates to other guys because to be totally honest, well, number one, the whole thing with me not telling you is because like I don't really have to, and I also didn't really feel comfortable telling you because I do still like you, and I do still think that me and you should date. Therefore, I don't want to tell you about the dates.
And every single date she goes on, she texts me in the bathroom saying, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, but it's not Big Jeans.
No, and I said that to him on FaceTime too. I go, if it makes you feel any better, haven't been on a second date with any of them, and I usually end up leaving the date being like, yeah, they were really cool. They weren't Big Jeans.
Yeah, and it's not like you and Big Jeans are like hanging out every single day and having this like rendezvous of a romance. Like you guys are like keeping it casual, chill.
It
so
is
it's
a
not
sober
like
indeed.
Yeah, so it's not like you're like, okay, you have to leave my apartment so I can go on a date. Like you are very much doing your own thing all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not like
and
you have
also
to keep
like
him
I'm not
updated.
like, it's also not like he's like I'm like so in love with him. Like I will say I probably do like him a little bit more than he likes me, but I'm not like in love with him and like like giving me side eye. But
right.
anyways, so yeah, so I tell him that I'm like, I didn't really want to like tell you about the dates, but I was like, but if you want me to tell you about if I go on a date with a guy in the future, like sure I will, but like just so you know, I haven't hooked up with anybody or like done anything.
And if it was communicated, like if you're gonna go on dates, like if you could let me know, of course you would have.
Yeah,
but it was
totally.
up in the air.
But it wasn't. And then he was like, but you shared it so casually on your podcast. And I was like, well, yeah, this obviously tracks back to like what happened with Lily. I didn't really have anything to hide. And I also figured like, you know, I share my shit on the show and I don't share anything on the show that I wouldn't be okay with being confronted about.
To someone's face.
Yeah. So I was like, so this is fine that you're calling me now telling me about this. But you could tell he was just like kind of like
taken back.
Very taken aback. And I just like said to him on FaceTime, I was like, yeah, well, like, I don't really want to go on dates with these guys.
Yeah, it all could have been avoided. Yeah.
Because I like you. And I still, like, the way I worded it was literally just, I still think that we should date at some point.
Yeah. It honestly, and like me and Work Bay are having conversations about it. And Work Bay, his best friend, is getting like, honestly frustrated with him because he's like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, it's totally fine if you're not ready for a relationship and everything. But she's not yours then.
Yeah, and so I said to him,
this is hot commodity, babe.
No.
Like, I don't think he quite understands. Like, we don't go in public without Christina getting approached. Right. It's just not.
He knows that too. I got approached 2 times within 10 minutes while I was with him by guys that like wanted my fucking.
Because you have this like fun. I mean, obviously you're hot as fuck. I have an aura. All know this and like a fat ass, but like it's the fun girl aura that you radiate in public settings where like all the other girls are like sitting there like not doing much, and you're just like like you're just the fun one.
Thank you, Barbie.
Yeah. Yes, you're fun Barbie.
Fun Barbie.
Fun Barbie.
But yeah, no. And then I said to him, I was like, yeah, like obviously, like we're not exclusive, so like that's why I was like doing that and like whatever. And he even said at a point, he's like, well, yeah, like I know that, like I know what I said.
He's tripping over his words.
Like,
yeah.
He like,
what do
and, like,
you expect?
It was funny because like the conversation would just go like silent at some points, and I would just like look at him on the FaceTime camera, and he'd be like, "Sorry, I'm just thinking."
Yeah. Because you dug yourself the hole, babe. When you tell someone you're not exclusive, like, don't expect them to be exclusive.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's like obviously like I made it clear to him though that I was like, yeah, like obviously I'm doing this because like you said you didn't want to be exclusive, so therefore I'm not gonna hold myself back when guys, you know, approach me and want to take me on a date. Like I'm gonna do like whatever. But at the end of the day, like I want to be with you and I'm not waiting for you.
No.
You're on my mental shelf. Like I'm not waiting for you by any means, but I just know what I want.
Yeah.
Like you know, so that's why I'm just kind of like doing my own thing. And he said something too that was funny. He's like, so you're not like asking these guys out. I'm like, no, I'm not asking.
And that's why it's
they
so different.
Come to me,
She's not on the apps. She's not like DMing guys saying,
yeah, and he said, he was like, I thought you deleted Hinge. And I was like, I did.
Yeah.
And I have Hinge.
But we're still not just getting that this is hot commodity.
Yeah.
Like this is a valuable woman. Like,
thank you.
What are we not understanding, boys?
Yeah. Anyways,
like,
though, but it was we talked for like an hour and like figured out, and basically like the ending of it. Oh yeah, and then it kind of got into like the conversation of like, okay, well, I was like, well, be honest with me. From the conversation we had the first time versus now, like the past month or whatever it's been, like have your feelings about me changed at all? And he did say that he has stronger feelings for me now, not like, you know, like crazy, but he said, he was like, you even said it on your podcast that I am a slow burn, and I wasn't lying about that. And I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. Like the conversation went like very, very good, and you know, we still saw each other after, and he said he wanted to talk about it with me before we went to this event because he didn't want to be at the event and like, you know, have all this shit in his head. And I was like, I totally get that. But yeah, the conversation went well. And I mean, fucking everything turned out fine because we went to the event. And then in typical, that's my man, but not my man, but also that's my man fashion, we ended up ditching the other event that we were supposed to go home and bake cookies together.
Like, you guys, shut the fuck up.
And I am still wearing the shirt that he gave me that night.
So here we are. But
he's not my boyfriend.
But he's not your boyfriend, but that's your man.
But he did spend 4 hours the other week making me roast chicken, but that's not my boyfriend.
But that's your man.
It's not my boyfriend, but that's my man.
I love this game. And I would like to also say
fun game
that I do respect the fact that he's a slow burn. I also really respect the fact that he told you up front. He literally gave you the timeline. This is how long it takes me to get to know someone. I know myself. And I respect that. But there is this happy medium of your feelings and his feelings. And right now, I feel like for the next month or two, like whatever, however long, you are going to continue doing what you're doing. But when it does get to the point where you're like, I want more, and you just don't, you have to protect yourself at the end of the day. We're not waiting around for a man, babe.
And you know what's funny? That got brought up on the FaceTime call too. And I like said something about like, oh, like it's whatever. Because he actually said that the girl that like listened to the podcast and stuff said to him was like, well, you should probably get this squared away with Christina because there's obviously some sort of like miscommunication. Right. And she was the one that said to him, she's like, well, honestly, like you guys have been seeing each other for a second. About 3 months is when you're like, hey, what are we? And at 6 months, you ask the question again. And if the answer is that we're still nothing, then you walk away.
Like, what are we?
And she was right. And I said that to him. I go, she's absolutely right. And it's been about 3 months. Starting to figure that out. And I said to him on FaceTime, I was like, if this doesn't like turn into something by like, I don't know, like Thanksgiving, November, like I'm gonna have to take matters into my own hands.
Because
like,
if you don't, you end up just getting more hurt in the long run. Because then you're just like starting to assume it's gonna be something, and then you never know. He could just turn to you one day and be like, "I want to end all this." Yeah, and then you're blindsided and you look dumb as fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so that's why I'm just like,
you have to take it into your own hands.
Yeah, and he totally respected that though, and he totally understood. And the thing too is like, obviously you guys know what we say on the show, but like me and Lily know this guy very well. I even knew him like not like super well, but like I knew about him before I started seeing him and all his friends and stuff. He's very much so, as we've been saying, a no bullshit guy. And that's why like there's like the slow burn, and then there's a guy that's like feeding you things saying he's a slow burn when he's actually leading you on.
This is a good guy, a good human
genuine
being.
Slow burn situation.
No, he's a really good guy. And that's why like if this was anyone else or someone we didn't know, it would be very different.
I'd be like, walk away.
But he's been nothing but honest with you the whole way, and like he's not seeing other people, and he's not going on dates.
He's not. He proposed that question to me. He's like, well, what would happen if like you found out that I went on a date with a girl? And I was like, well, first of all, you know that I like you, so obviously I'd be upset. But at the same time, you told me we weren't exclusive, so I wouldn't be able to get like mad.
So I would expect it.
I would be upset, but I wouldn't be upset at you.
Yeah.
Like, because
but his nights out now are him getting a little tipsy and then calling you and asking you to come. When like the old him and like those boys, my boyfriend, they used to go out and be on the hunt. They were dogs. They literally called themselves dogs.
Yeah.
And they don't do that anymore. So I think that's very telling.
Yeah. And
know?
also, what else was I going to say? It had to do with the going out and whatnot. Some other boyfriend shit. Some other boyfriend related shit. Like,
I'll like look at David. I'm like, do you ever miss being a little dog? He's like,
what'd you say?
Sometimes I'll work bae, whatever you want to call him. I'm so toxic. I'll look at him and I'll be like, do you ever miss being like a single dog with the boys?
Oh,
he's like, shut up.
Yeah. No, but no, you're right though. It does consist of like him like calling me and like, oh, that's what I was gonna say. Like Lily said, like all of his friends were under the impression that we were exclusive too.
Like all of them, dude.
So I know I'm not fucking insane.
Like this one good friend of theirs said something to my boyfriend about, he was like, oh, I thought they were exclusive. And my boyfriend was like, why? And he was like, because he said they were exclusive. But I know men. Big Jeans did not ever tell the boys that they're exclusive. He said something
like kind of insinuating.
He said something insinuating it. Like they probably were like, bro, are you seeing anyone else or whatever? And he was like, nah, I'm just hanging out with Christina right now.
Yeah.
And they probably took that and ran with it. But like that still says a lot that he's saying anything. Like he's not really interested in anyone else. I know he's not. Because
I'm not
he's a dog.
either. Like I don't want to date other guys. Ugh,
yeah. Anytime like
Spain
last
without
summer
the S.
when me and Workbay were in our era of like seeing other people, a man would talk to me and I'd be like, I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah.
It could be literally a 10. And we were just talking about this outside. Like there was this one really hot guy, finally like bagged him in a way and like got him to like give me the time of day. And then as soon as he did, I was like, wait, ew.
Yeah.
I like don't like
No.
this.
And I said that to him too on FaceTime. I was like, yeah, like these guys I've been going on dates with, by the way, too. Like, honestly, I haven't been on a bad date. Like,
No,
they're all
very
awesome. Wonderful, nice
awesome
guys.
dudes. Yeah.
But I like you. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so anyways, that's my thing. I got called out for going on dates with other guys. Wham.
Wham.
But yeah, so we'll see what developments happen. I mean, there's always a fucking Big Jeans development on this goddamn show.
It's kind of fun though. Like I feel like you're back.
Girl's back.
She's back.
She has a situationship, but I'm also not going to say it's a situationship because I'm against
Well,
situationships.
the good news is there's only 2 weeks left in my sober journey, and then my toxic things will be back.
Yes.
For
So what
sure.
is your toxic thing
Well,
today?
okay, so I don't like really have one, but I was thinking about, so obviously they had that conversation before we went to that event together. I actually was dying because I remember saying to Big Jeans like, oh, we have to do more double dates. He goes, yeah, for sure. As long as we never call it a double date.
Yeah.
He goes, just say me, you, Christina, and David are going to a bar, meet us there.
Yeah.
And then but don't call it a double date. And I feel that. Like, why is
No,
it cringe
it's-
to say that?
It is so cringe.
Like, I'd rather die than
Yeah.
ever say, let's go on a double date.
Yeah, but being
anyway.
like, yo, like, we're going to a bar. Like,
Yeah,
it's, like,
yeah.
way more casual. Like, I feel like double date puts so much, like, pressure. It's, like battle
so
of the couples.
Awkward.
Like,
I hate
yeah.
everything about it. Like, truly. But, yeah, then we went to that event and... oh my god! On the way there, I was in an Uber. I don't know why I just thought of this, but
Oh my God!
I was in an Uber with Workbay on the way there, and like I do live really close to Work Jeans, but like in different
Work to
directions,
Work Jeans?
kinda. Wait, that's like the crossover of a lifetime.
Work jeans.
Work Jeans. I hate the Workbay nickname. I'm so sick of it. Like he
Oh
needs
my
like a
God.
rebrand. Like seriously, he's not Workbay anymore. Like we don't work together.
I don't know. Maybe we could figure out a new name for him and then just start like being like this guy, formerly known as Workbay.
Yeah, for like 7 episodes.
Yeah, and then get into it.
Yeah, we were on our way to this event to meet Christina and Big Jeans, and we're in the Uber, and like fucking Big Jeans is on the city bike, like in the bike lane next to our Uber for the whole ride there, but with headphones in. So I'm just screaming his name out the window and taking videos, and he just doesn't see us. It was so funny.
Lily just like starts spamming my phone, and she's like, Big Jeans is in the bike lane next to me.
It's just like so funny.
She sent me the funniest. It's like a 3-second video.
And he just
Okay, well, the camera couldn't have died at a funnier time. We were talking about how Big Jeans was zooming past Lily's Uber, and then all of a sudden it was like, change your battery. Anyways, yeah, it was this 3-second video that Lily sent me. It's just Big Jeans just booking it right past the Uber. Doesn't even look at Lily at all. It was,
and I'm just screaming his name,
and he's in like 60s-ish like attire too, because
So
we're going to a
funny.
60s themed party. It was really
so funny. But yeah, we had like a good time at this party, but I get my toxic-ish thing. I just cannot mind my business, babe. Like I'm just, every like time Christina even like remotely stepped away, I was like looking up at him. He's so tall. I'm like, you guys take really cute pictures together.
Yeah.
And like he would just be like, like, okay. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm like, wow, you guys are like so funny together. Ever think about how like you're both like funny? Like I'm just saying the stupidest shit, and he's like, okay.
You ever
Lily.
notice that you both have like brown hair?
Yeah. No, that's
like,
like literally
meant
the
to
energy.
be.
Literally the energy I was giving him. And at the very end, I was like, you guys are just like so cute.
Yeah.
And David
trying
just
to
looked at me and
feed
was like,
into it.
enough. Like
Yeah.
he just kept catching me do it. He was like, okay, enough.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll be fun soon, guys. Don't worry.
We'll get her back.
I'll be back.
get
I'm
her
like, but I'm a healthy girl. Like I'm actually like so happy right now. Like I've been like
Good for you.
on
Couldn't
my
be me.
shit. Like
I'm like, good for you. Couldn't be me.
Yeah.
My whole like theory is like I have to be healthy girl on Accutane in 2 weeks, so therefore I will be crazy for the next 2 weeks.
yeah, it's like it's so hard to like get back into a fitness or like health.
Oh my God,
era.
yeah.
Like, I'm not kidding. I didn't go to the gym for like a year and a half. Like I think I
Yeah.
went one time, maybe even 2 years. Like it really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And like those first few weeks are like so hard, and like it's just like that for honestly the first like 3 times. Like once I get in a habit, it's actually so easy to like keep a habit.
Yeah.
But like, oh my God, it's so hard. But then when you finally start to turn the corner where like you're not about to throw up on the treadmill, you're like, oh my God, like you just feel so good. So
Yeah, no, for sure.
if I can do it, you can do it.
If I could do it, you could do it.
That's
with a
for
big
sure.
star. All right, let's get into G&T.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Yeah, just a few little things.
Yeah, we'll be quick with it
Yeah,
because
so
this is
I mean,
long.
we already talked about this last week, but the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce saga continues. Shit is everywhere. Taylor was hanging out with Sophie Turner at the Chiefs. Is that what he's
have
part
this.
of? Game? You don't have this? Oh,
No.
Okay, I'll send you a screenshot right now. Sorry, forgot to send Lily the notes to
Yeah.
our own damn show.
Yeah, Taylor was at the game last night with Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, her besties, and then Sophie Turner, who's living in her New York City apartment with the kids. Because
Big slow.
come on, Joe, give the fucking passports back, you goddamn
no.
man whore. Like,
So that's that. That saga continues. In other news, The Golden Bachelor premiered. Have you been seeing things about this, hearing things about it?
Yeah,
I
kinda.
want to turn in, like, I think only one episode happened, so I got to catch up on that one episode, and then I will be tuning in.
so funny.
The Bachelor franchise is doing The Golden Bachelor, which is basically The Bachelor, but The Golden Bachelor, because The Bachelor is a 70, some news outlets said he was 71, some said 72, but 71, 72-year-old man. His name is Gary Turner. He looks
but
incredible for his age.
they have other older women on, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
he's the Bachelor. And then all the women that are participating are in age range 60 to 75, looking to win his heart. And it is just so incredible. And I saw a clip the other day that like one of the
either
women
be so bad or so good. So I'm glad.
no,
it's
so
good.
far people are
Yeah.
saying it's so good, and people
Wow.
are like, get your fucking tissue box,
Aw.
because it's like older people
They
like
have
trying to
stories,
find love
too,
Well, this
yeah.
one woman, not to spoil it, but episode 1 for you guys, I didn't watch it, but I saw a clip that this one woman, her whole thing was like that, her and her like absolute like best friend, like love The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. They would watch it all the time together. And then her friend was like diagnosed with cancer or something like that. And then when she was diagnosed with cancer, the other friend got the offer to go on The Golden Bachelor, and they were rooting for her and they were so excited and like all this stuff. And she goes on The Golden Bachelor, and when she's doing her walkout, she like screams her friend's name and she was like, "We made it!" and stuff. And she was like, "My friend's watching back at home," and blah, blah. And it's like it's a whole thing talking about their friendship, and then at the end it says rest in peace.
No, I just got goosebumps. Oh my god. Oh my god.
No, like it is so sad, but like oh my god.
Wow.
Oh,
because I feel like
cry.
that's so special, and I feel like older people just like have like incredible stories, and like are, like they really want that like true love. They're not there to be on TV.
Yeah,
like, they're there to find love. So.
No, and yeah, exactly.
Wow.
That's the whole thing, and like, oh my god. So, anyways, I will be tuning in. I'm so excited. And the last thing in GNT, which is so random, but this was actually announced just a few hours before recording. TikTok apparently announced that they're testing out a $4.99 a month ad-free subscription plan. So basically,
I'm not doing it, but like I also am so sick of the ads.
Sick of the ads, but also like somebody brought up the point that they were like, it takes not even a second to scroll past the ads.
Like how down bad do you have to?
Like to pay that, like you have to really.
It's not like YouTube where you have to watch a 30-second ad before a video. Like sometimes that is so fucking annoying. But like what?
I pay for YouTube Premium to like get rid of the ads, only because I like to fall asleep to YouTube videos. Like I put my like TV on like sleep timer, and I put a YouTube video on, and like I'll usually put on like a long YouTube video, like I watch the Bio Files religiously, so like sometimes I'll put that on, and that's like at least like an hour, and it'll usually have like 4 to 5 ad breaks in it, and if you don't skip the ad breaks, they just keep rolling ads, and because I'm asleep, it's just like I just keep hearing ads. So I pay for YouTube Premium so it wouldn't interrupt my fucking sleep. But anyways, that's that. But that's it for GNT basically. Just one housekeeping thing actually. So one of the housekeeping things that we have written down here is that we went on our first technical Big Jeans work bay double date, but that was already discussed. Other thing, after last week's episode, we decided that we wanted to start doing call-ins for gin and tips, and then this week we were like, oh shit, we're supposed to start call-ins this week. We were supposed to start call-ins this week, except we never announced on the show that we were starting call-ins. So I was like, all right, this week, let's do a normal one for gin and tips, and then announce that we're doing call-ins. Next week, we'll do it. So
you should like put it on your story too.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah.
So basically, because we've talked about it on the show before, whenever we do gin and tips, you guys DM us your situations, you guys, give the info and stuff, but it would be really great to like hear from some of you guys, hear the full story, and for us to be able to ask questions, to make like best judgment on like the advice that we're giving you. So,
and it's like fun to have you guys like be more of a part of the show.
Yeah,
like I love like reading your stories, but like actually hearing them, chat with you guys,
and hearing the voice behind it.
Yeah, it'd be so fun.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll start next week. So Gin and Tips will turn into, instead of us reading it, we will have people on to tell their stories
via Zoom.
Do a little. It won't be. We won't have their faces.
Yeah,
It'll still be.
It
will be.
Anonymous.
Face will be anonymous. They could use an you guys can use an anonymous name. Voices will be real.
Yeah,
real voices. Fake name.
Yeah,
no video.
Yeah, or if you want to say your name, say your name. But
if you want to say your real name, like, who cares?
You.
But or use an alias. Who the fuck cares? It's only your voice. So yeah, that's it for housekeeping. Let's get into it with Leah. All right, guys, we are joined today by the wonderful, beautiful Leah Gans. She's the founder and chief creative officer at Les Miss. No, not Les Miss. Sorry, Les Miss New York City.
We've already gone over this, Christina.
I know. I asked before. Les Miss. Yes, the S is silent.
Welcome.
I'm thinking about the play. That is what is in my mind.
It is confusing.
So she is here with us today. A badass female entrepreneur, which we haven't
love to
really
see
had
it.
on the show yet.
Yeah,
we're stoked that you were here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Of course.
Absolutely. So first of all, as we ask all our guests, we need your toxic thing of the week. We prompted you before this how it works. So what would you say your toxic thing of the week is?
So I unfortunately have been talking to my ex again.
There it is.
As it goes.
And it's not really just like a casual ex. Like we did live together and have a pretty serious
shit.
2-year relationship. And yeah, we do this thing every few months. We start talking and then it never ends well. Someone's feelings get hurt, but we're doing it again.
Perfect. I love your
It's
dance.
been fun.
Oh my
I
god,
missed
I didn't
him.
realize too when we were like talking before the show and stuff. You lived with it?
Yes,
Whew.
we lived together. It was we had a cat together. Like we had a little custody cat battle.
Welcome.
Lily's like been there, done
Done there, done that. I got the cat, bitch. I got the cat.
custody of the cat.
I also have the cat. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for the cat, by the way. I really do appreciate it.
The woman gets the cat.
Always, as she should.
Yeah, 100%.
So funny.
Well, I mean, this is a situation where I'm like, good for you, or damn, that sucks. Like, I don't, where is the fine line? How are you feeling about it?
I mean, good. You know, it's like I was just telling you guys, like, I find it so weird that you can like spend so much time with someone and then they're just not in your life anymore. Like that's my best friend. Like that's someone I really care about and love to have like lived with and spent that much time with. So I find it really hard for like an ex to just not be in your life anymore.
Especially if you're single. It's like, why would I not be doing that?
And I am recently single, and that's probably why.
And
this
if it's
is
not like
happening.
super toxic or anything, it's like, okay.
Yeah, totally.
So you
Like,
dated somebody else and then you're talking to a different ex, correct?
yeah, so there was someone I dated in between that ended pretty poorly. So
Been there too, girl. I got out of a relationship recently that was bad. So I'm with you.
It sucks. But yeah, I think it just also feels good to like talk to someone that actually like was nice to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if they're not like your person,
comfort
they were
ex.
good to you in a way.
Totally.
Yeah. The
It's
comfort
like-
of an ex.
No,
Same.
literally. I remember like 1 month into my relationship with my narcissistic boyfriend, I like found out that he cheated on me and I called my comfort ex. You
Yeah.
remember I had like a breakdown, called
you
comfort
do.
ex. He was like, dump him. What are you? And I was like, no, I'm actually going to stay with him for another 6 months.
No,
I'll circle back though. I'll
Yeah.
circle back, babe. Yeah.
I'm coming back for you.
I'll be back
And why you
here.
big dick? We're coming back for you.
One day.
I think his little sister still listens to the show.
Oh, fuck.
And she has to know it's about him.
Yeah, for sure. It's
She'll
all
be
right.
liking
Well,
all
hey.
my posts. Like, hey,
Your
put in a good
brother's
word
dick
for your
is pretty
brother.
big.
Anyways, all right. Wonderful. Well, do you think that anything's going to actually come of it?
Probably not.
Okay.
No.
Someone's gonna
sure
get
for
their
a little
feelings
fun.
hurt again.
Yeah, maybe I'll cry.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Crying is cleansing. So,
Sometimes it's like meeting the right person to like really just
Get you
end
out of
all.
there.
Yeah, like if you
Yeah.
really met like your person within the next year, I feel like you would have no problem being like, okay, we have to end this
Yeah.
kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Can't keep
But
going
otherwise, it's gonna probably keep happening because
Right.
that's how it goes.
Right.
the cycle continues, and then one day you just get like, you wake up, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm bored of this.
I'm good.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
And then it just stops.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
onward. Just like this episode. So, all right. So we're going to get into the meat of the episode. So we want your backstory. We told you beforehand, we're not going through the corny stuff. You know, this isn't your, what do they call it? Those books that they write about old people.
Like a biography.
Hello?
Biography.
Great.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So, not the biography, but your age, obviously, and when did you move to New York City? Because I'm assuming, did your brand, we'll get into it, did your brand like form while you were in New York City? Was that kind of like the okay.
Yes,
So your age, why and when did you move to New York? And then, you know, you started your brand. How'd you start that? You know, take it away. Take the floor.
Cool. Well, I'm 25. I turned 26 in a few months, which is kind of freaking me out. But
Oh my God, could I ask what your sign is?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, cute.
I love a Sag.
Love a
I'm a
Sag.
Gemini, so Sag and
no
Gemini are a
way.
perfect match.
Cute.
Love
Yeah.
it. Knew I liked you.
I am a very proud Sagittarius. I do
Oh,
love.
you should
I
be.
love being a Sagittarius.
Love a
but,
Sag.
yeah, I moved to New York when I was 18 to go to NYU. So pretty normal, you know, trajectory. And yeah, I think I started when I was in college. I started like a weird random like belt brand. Like I was like painting belts and selling them to friends. So like I think I had like the idea of like starting a brand.
She's an artsy queen.
Yeah. I like to do a craft.
Yeah,
I
love
love
craft.
a DIY.
That's so cute.
So I was doing that for like a little bit in college, and I had a lot of fun with it. But like, I started working at LF.
Yeah. So that's
And met
Yeah,
Lily.
so that's
how we know each other.
the pipeline. I feel like that is like such like a deep niche New York
Yes.
City 2017 thing. We were
Yeah.
reminiscing before. But if there's the small chance that any of the girlies that are listening remember LF, you remember how prominent it was in your life.
Yeah.
It was
for like a few months in 2017.
Well, Leah literally just said something that's so true. Every like hot New York City girl either worked at LF or Brandy Melville, and it just was one of the other.
It's a rite of passage. It's like you have to do it
to be a fashion girly of New York.
Yeah.
You
haven't made it till you've done that.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny.
So yeah, I was doing that, and I think my business kind of just fell apart, whatever I was doing before. And then after college, I graduated in 2020, so I was like pretty lost.
Weird time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a weird time. I went back to like working in retail again. I was working at like a jewelry store and applying to grad schools, and I was like gonna study psychology in grad school. I took like one class and dropped out because I was working at a jewelry store, and I started making jewelry and having like so much fun with it.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, it was super fun, and I started selling at flea markets, and
was it like beaded jewelry?
yeah,
I do remember that.
Yeah, that's how it started. Yeah. So I was like selling at like Artisan Fleas.
Oh, cute.
And,
love Artisan Fleas.
Yeah, it was so fun. And I was like there. Well, I went to their LA one that I did first, and then I was at the Brooklyn location for like a full year, like every weekend. I like just went one weekend and kept my stuff there and never left.
I go there literally every single weekend because I pass it every single weekend. I'm like, I'm just gonna like look around.
The Brooklyn one's the best too.
The Brooklyn, they have the best stuff there.
It is the best. I loved selling there, and I made so many friends there. And yeah, I would spend all of the money I made like every weekend because everything there is like so cute and so good. Especially when they opened like the vintage side.
Yeah, it's called like Regeneration or something.
Good.
Yeah,
It killed me. But I made so many like business friends there, like people who were doing similar things that I was doing, and we were kind of getting priced at like Artisan Fleas kept raising their rents. They were kind of like the ownership there is a little dicey, I will say. Like people were having some issues with like keeping their spot, or like people were getting kind of like pushed out, and I don't know, I was just kind of trying to think of ways. I don't think I really saw it as like a full-fledged brand, but I had seen like a couple of girls I know or friends open stores, and I think I was like getting to a point, I mean, I'm skipping around a lot, like at some point I quit my retail job because I was making enough and I was doing this full-time, and dropped out of grad school, and then
as you do.
As one does. I took one class. But yeah, I think I decided like I could bring all of these brands together and open a store, and we could like kind of all do this together. And that was kind of the original concept. It's definitely now become more of my own brand and more of like designing my own products. But
so at first it was like a collaborative thing.
Yeah.
I like
so
have
cool.
noticed that, like especially with your recent Fashion Week stuff, because I remember it first being like a boutique where you could buy like different types of things and different brands and whatever. But now it's been really cool to see you actually like designing stuff.
Which is so fun. I think I didn't really realize that was like a skill set I had or something I would be able to do. But then once I started doing it, it's like I felt absolutely in love with it. And
lots of black and pink, Christina. We might have to stop by
the
store.
I did a little looking.
Yeah.
I saw some bows. I was like, ooh.
The new collection's very black and pink. Yeah. But I think once I started doing that, I like fell in love with it and really wanted to focus on that. We still do have a couple of the brands just because they're like close friends at this point. You know, I love to work with them. So we carry a couple brands. We carry some vintage pieces, but it's mostly our brand. And then we do like events on the weekends.
Yeah,
so
the
we'll
events
bring
are
in
so
brands.
cool. I have to come because they do
Yeah,
like
you guys
tattoo
do.
like pop-ups
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
like there'll be like a DJ in there. I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. We'll bring a DJ. We bring tattoo artists, tooth gem artists,
fun.
tarot readers, like whatever.
I love
before
that.
opening the store, I didn't have any tattoos, and now I'm like covered in tattoos. I've gotten them all at pop-ups, like at my
really?
store. Yeah,
Fun.
they're all
my
flashy, like no thought, impulsive tattoos. And
Love that,
sometimes
though.
I look at myself, I'm like, what is happening?
I think they're both so cute. To be
Favorite
honest,
tattoos. I know. I love the little. What is that? A fairy?
Thank you. Yeah, little fairy.
So
Yeah,
cute.
so cute.
Thank
Love
you.
it. Okay, so when did you said you opened up the store when
Around what
in
time?
20?
It was December of 2021.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. So we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary of like the brick and mortar retail location this December.
So
Yeah.
So you started the brand before you did brick and mortar, and then you ended up
Right, yeah, I
doing
loosely
kind of-
did. It was
yeah.
like a jewelry brand when
Okay.
at the time that I opened the store. And we do still make jewelry. But at that time I was like making it all by hand. Now we work with like manufacturers.
Yeah.
But yeah, we weren't making any clothes until I think I made the first clothing line like the first spring we were open. So we opened December 2021, and then spring 2022, I think I had the first clothing line come out.
Okay, and then why did you want to go into clothing? Or was that the plan all along?
No, it definitely wasn't the plan all along. That's like something I've definitely learned. I'm just like figuring it out as I go, 100%. And I think everyone does that, but people don't really talk about it. But like, I don't think I had a clear vision. I mean, I made a business plan. I pitched it to like brokers or whatever, landlords. But at the end of the day, I don't think I had like a clear, like, this is what I'm going to do. This is not what I'm going to do. I remember I was so against selling vintage for some reason because I wanted to differentiate myself from like all the other small businesses. I was like, everyone's doing vintage. And now like vintage is a huge part of my business.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, just like having an open mind. Like I definitely go back on what I say sometimes. But,
that's fine. We go back and we correct.
Yeah.
Duh.
We change our minds.
We go along.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think I was getting inspired. I think I had an idea of the first piece of clothing I made was like this tank top with my cat on it. Like it was a drawing I did of my cat with fairy wings. And yeah, I think that was like the first thing I made. I just had the idea for it, or I had done the drawing. I was like, I want to put this on clothing. And so I started looking into like how to like manufacture clothing, how to build a tech pack, like teaching myself all of that stuff. And I think that's kind of when it became that. And then once I released the first clothes and they sold really well and the margins are better than us, like, you know, reselling handmade, like small things. So I think once I had done that and seen that it worked and I like loved doing it, I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to take the business.
Okay, gotcha. So you're totally self-taught.
Yes.
Okay.
That's super cool.
Yeah,
in terms
that
of
is
design,
super cool.
absolutely.
Yeah,
yes.
and then before you also said that you originally were like super against selling vintage because you wanted to like set yourself apart or whatever, and now it's a big part. So what would you say does set your brand apart from all the other, you know,
That's
kind
a
of
great question.
shops or emerging designers or, you know, however you want to interpret it?
I think there are a few things. I think one of them is that our aesthetic is pretty unique. I think
that's the first thing that just came to my mind with your
thank
store.
you.
Like, I like see your logo like in my head when it comes up. So,
thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like the branding and just the overall aesthetic is like very unique to like my style and like my you know, creative vision, which I don't think I see a lot of other stores organized the way my store is or like set up the way we are. I think the other aspect is that like we're a part of this like small business community that's really nice, and I think we've almost created like a friend group in that sense, but it's like a friend group that like everyone can join. Like if you come in on a Saturday pop-up, we're all like sitting on the floor hanging out drinking, and
cute.
Strangers are gonna come in and maybe they're shopping or maybe they'll sit down with us. People come in all the time and they're like, does anyone work here? Like, can someone get me a size? I'm like, oh, sorry. Like but I like that. Like that's kind of what I'm going for. It's more of a social experience than anything. And I think that sets us apart. I think even within our vintage, I think our curation is pretty distinct. Like it still stays true to our brand and like our aesthetic. I think it's all like a very clear story. So yeah, it's a lot. I think it's just kind of about the way we run our business. I'm not obsessed with like my business being different than everyone else's, but I do think it just is unique in the sense that like the way we structure it, the way we are as employees, like we're my team, we're all like best friends, you know. I just think there's a lot of aspects to it that differentiate it.
Wow, you said your team, so you have like a whole team now basically.
By team I really mean 4 people. Like there's
well, still
yeah including
more than one
me.
Yes. More than one.
Yes, it is. I hired my first full-time employee around like December last year, so it was like a year in, and that was life-changing. And she's been like,
I'm sure.
Oh my god, because I used to be like the one at the store like all the time, and obviously it's open 7 days a week, so that's like all of my time. Plus also trying to run the business and like design clothes, it was just like kind of I had no life. And so I hired my first time. I can't talk. I
get tongue-tied all the time on the show. It's fine.
I hired my first full-time employee, and that really changed everything and really allowed me to like focus on the creative, and she really handles the business. Like her title is director of business development, so she like helps us get wholesale accounts and, you know, manage like money and like all the stuff that I don't really find myself good at. Like our skill sets are very like complementary. And yeah, that was life-changing. And then after her, we brought on like a retail employee so that neither of us have to work the weekends, which has been amazing. And we love her. And now we're working with a PR person. So it's like slowly building. We just keep adding people.
Yeah. So obviously you keep adding people because I'd imagine the brand just keeps growing.
Right.
So the next question was, when did you realize that it was like actually becoming something and that it was going to like take off in a way? Was there like a moment in time, or it just kind of like was gradual, you know?
Totally. I feel like there's been like a few separate moments where I've had like kind of aha, like, oh, this is really happening. And then there's also so much self-doubt like in between, you know? Like I struggle so badly with imposter syndrome and like thinking it's going to fail. So it goes back and forth a lot. But honestly, the first flea market I did so well that day that I was like, I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to like actually do this. So I think from the beginning, I believed in it and was like, this is something like I want to do and I want to pursue. And it was more like convincing the people around me that this is like the right thing for me to do, because I am like, I care so much about what everyone thinks. I think everyone does, you know? So, like, I wanted everyone's support.
And it's so vulnerable to start a brand. Like,
it is.
It's just, like, you just feel like everyone's, like, judging it and everything, when really I feel like most people respond in a very supportive way.
Totally.
You're always surprised that you get more support than, like, anything else.
It honestly was shocking. Like, the amount of people who even just pitched in to help me out, like, when I was setting up the store or, like, people came out of nowhere, like people I hadn't heard from in forever are like so there to support you, and it's really beautiful. It was really one of the best parts of doing this, I think. But yeah, I think that moment I already was like, I think this is gonna happen. But then obviously there's like setbacks, and then the next flea market weekend maybe isn't as good, and whatever. But I think I decided I wanted to open a store at the point that I once like had enough to do it, and convinced the landlord that like I could get a commercial lease. And then I think it was kind of, I don't know if I must have believed in it at that point, right? Because I took a huge risk on it, but at the same time I think I was unsure how much it would really grow, but I knew it could be like a self-sustaining small business. So I felt confident in that aspect. But I think,
and it was just you, like you're the sole owner.
Just me. I own 100% right now. Probably will change. Like I do want to be a little bit more like employee owned, so I'm open to like, you know, people growing with me and with the company. But it's always been just me up until this point, so that was definitely really daunting. And I think more recently I've been feeling like really confident, like after our Fashion Week show, and
killed it. Like it looked unreal.
Thank you. That was like one of the best, highest moments for me. It was at this cafe in Nolita. It's called Stone Street. It's like a bar at night cafe during the day.
I've seen it.
That's so super nice. And I think that was like a really big confidence booster for me. We also have like been in a few publications recently. I think that really like solidified things. Bella Thorne like wore something I designed, and that was like really huge for me. I think it's just like little things like that, like seeing people start to really notice or like take like the brand. But honestly, from the beginning, people have come in the store and been so supportive and like are like, wow, this is so cool, I love what you're doing. So I do hear a lot of affirmation because I'm in the store so often. So I think I've really believed in it like from inception. But there are little things that are definitely like reassuring and make me think, okay, this is taking off. Like this is happening.
No, for sure. And it's so nice to have like such like a good like support system behind you and whatnot of friends, family, and total strangers that just believe in the brand.
It's crazy.
That's the nice thing about having a physical location rather than just like an online boutique too, because I feel like you're constantly like making friends, and the event aspect of it is so special rather than just like making tops. Like there's so much more to it for you, which is awesome.
Totally. And that's my favorite aspect, is like really the sense of community. I've met like my best friends through doing this, which I think is so amazing, and still new people like every single weekend. And the location's really cool. I actually used to work at a restaurant like around the corner, and I would always walk by it, and it's just like such a good spot. Like I got really lucky.
Where is it located?
It's in Nolita. It's on Mott Street between Houston and Prince.
Oh, that's a great location.
Like, it's so perfect, especially like just for the aesthetic and everything.
Exactly.
I feel like it's like the perfect block specifically for
Can I ask, did you get a lot of foot traffic from San Gennaro?
Yes, and I love San Gennaro. Every single year, San Gennaro helps so much because it's
like,
right
I
there.
love San Gennaro.
I'm in San Gennaro. San Gennaro is great for us.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, I love the location. The neighborhood's great. Everyone in the neighborhood is so friendly. It's also like a ton of small businesses in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
like,
no, exactly.
It's not
oh my gosh.
It's just like the perfect like aesthetic like area for your store.
Totally.
Yeah.
I got really lucky with that. I'm so happy.
So, okay, so we were talking about before, you said like sometimes you struggle with like imposter syndrome and obviously like self-doubt and whatnot. So, you know, hardships of creating a brand, opening a business, you know, both from the design perspective when you're creating the clothes, and then also just, you know, I guess from like the perspective of being a female entrepreneur. What have you found has been like your like biggest like struggle or hill to climb or anything of that sort, would you say?
So I would say there are so many struggles, and I don't want to say this to discourage. I think anyone can do what I'm doing, and anyone can do this, and I don't want to discourage anyone from like,
but it's just the reality.
But in reality,
100%.
of course it is like so hard, and there are so many moments where like you're so done, and it's different stages. Like first securing a lease and like going to meet these landlords and them looking at me like I was like a stupid little girl, and like me trying to pitch them my business plan, and like because in New York, like especially, I don't know how it is in the rest of the states, but to secure a commercial lease, like you have to really like pitch your business plan. Like they don't want to put a business that's gonna fail into the space.
In that area too, like it just for having like the coolest boutiques. Like there's like almost like a pressure when you're going into
exactly.
it.
And you know, New York City landlords are these like super rich, like middle-aged older men that you know they think I'm a little girl.
Like,
I'm like, hi, I'm trying to run a business.
I promise it's gonna be cool.
I'm gonna make money.
Like your like form that you hand
girlies
them
like
just says,
it.
just trust me.
Literally.
Like a little pink bow on it.
So yeah, I think that was definitely like one of the harder parts in the beginning, was like trying to get men, like a industry dominated by men, to take me seriously. And I was really lucky. I had a really good broker, so he would like come with me to the meetings and like really helped, and also was like, you know, make sure you dress professional. Like these guys don't like mess around. So, you know, I had to kind of put on a facade and like be a different version of myself, which is okay. Like you have to do what you have to do to get what you want. And that's definitely something I've learned running a business. But
smart business people know that. To like always be yourself, but then there's some situations where you just have to like step up and
like,
reel it in.
It's like I know this landlord isn't someone I would ever like or want to get coffee with.
Or
you know,
sell a like pink tank top too.
No, never. Most of them have like been to jail. Like they're not like we have nothing in common. So you have to kind of, you know, play a part. And I think I learned that early on, but that was like hard in the beginning stages, and then like later, obviously, there's like slow months or slow weeks, and you get really nervous, or like you make a product. Like there have been products that I was really excited about that were like maybe a flop. Like, you know, like I don't want to say a complete flop, because obviously some people buy them, some people like them, but it's like something that you really believe in, that you think is going to take off, and it doesn't. And I think that is really hard to grapple with, because it is like I consider it my artwork, you know?
It's personal.
And just creatively, like it does hurt. And especially because I'm in the store so much. Like I work from the store most days. So I hear, but no one knows that. People come in and they have no idea who I am. They think I'm just like working there. Yeah. So they'll like say things in front of me like, oh my God, this is so weird. Or like, and like, I'm just sitting there like, okay, well I did put my heart and soul into that.
I'll be right back.
And I like never say anything. I just like sit there and I'm like, okay, I did sleep over that, but no worries. No worries.
God.
So I think that can be hard. There's so many, you know, not everyone's going to like what you like. Not everyone, especially what I'm doing. I think it is a little out there, and I think it's not for everyone.
The girls that get it.
The girls that get it. They do. And that's totally fine. If you're a girl that doesn't get it, that's totally fine. Yeah. You get things that I don't get, I'm sure.
Right.
But I think there is like I can be sensitive about things like that, and that's been definitely something that's been like hard to get over. And yeah, just in general, like hearing, especially right after the fashion show, like I feel like people were coming up to me and giving me so much praise that I genuinely was like, felt ill. Like I felt like I was gonna throw up, because I was like, I don't deserve this. This is fake. Like I didn't even do anything. I'm not even working that hard. Like I tell myself these things all the time, and I think a lot of women do. I think it's just natural.
Yeah.
Like someone's
we weren't even like taught to properly take a compliment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think
that's the biggest lesson of the Barbie movie.
So true. So true.
Designer Barbie.
Right. Designer Barbie. No, it's so true. true. And I think it is really hard not to doubt yourself. And especially when people are telling you like, oh my God, what you're doing is so amazing. You're working so hard. And you're like, wait, I could be working way harder. I love to tell myself that, but it's like, of course I'm not. I'm doing something. It's showing, but I think I definitely, that's something I still struggle with all the time.
Yeah. And then on the contrary, obviously, what do you think has been the most rewarding part? Obviously, you hear like everybody's like feedback, and I'm sure that's been like super rewarding. Would you say that's it? Or is there like, something specific or,
It's hard to pick like one thing that would be the ultimately most rewarding. But the first thing that comes to my mind is honestly my full-time employee, Maddie, who started working with me, and just like the way we've grown together as a team and learned to work together and the things we've accomplished together, I think has been
so cute.
So rewarding. No, it's really been like amazing to work with someone so closely every day, and like really like she really believes in it and cares about it, and that's hard to find, I think. And to see like how happy it makes her and how happy it makes me and how well we work together, I think that's been like just learning how to also be a leader and like build a team. I think that's been really rewarding because that was not natural for me at all. Like,
some people are like, I'm the boss, blah, blah, blah. But you're like, I'm like a creative and a designer.
I don't want to be in that position. I hope that she'll manage the people. You know, like I don't want that to be my thing. But I obviously have to learn how to do it, and I have to step up. And I think I've gone better at it. But
back to the clothes and whatnot. We obviously talked a lot about the business side and whatnot. How do you get inspired to design what you design? Do you take inspiration from places? Does it just come to you in your sleep? Like, how are you figuring out what you're going to design, what collections you're going to put out?
Because I feel like you play off some trends, but you really are so good at like making them your own too. Because I feel like there's a lot of like girly boutiques right now that are just eating up certain trends like a little too much. But I feel like you're so good at just putting your own like twist on it while also making it what the girlies want. So.
Yeah. And also in addition, actually, which piqued like another question, is there like, how would you say like, in like a little like blurb or whatever, like what is the exact aesthetic of your brand?
Okay. I would say it's hard, but my brand is really focused on like my childhood. So I'm really focused on things I liked growing up. So I don't know if there's like a name. People ask that. People come in the store and they're like, what would you call this aesthetic? I'm like, ugh, I don't want to name I don't know. It's like my aesthetic.
It's more like I almost envision like the type of girls that you picture wearing the clothes.
Right.
Yeah. What kind of girls and like where they hang out and like,
Totally. Yeah. I think it's definitely inspired by me and my friends. I think it's definitely it's for anyone though. Like my mom and my grandma wear things from my brand, but also like some 10-year-olds do. We get kids all the time. And people always ask if it's a children's store, and I'm like, okay, do you see the grinders and that like
there's a lot of stoner girly
I don't know,
I'm gonna have to stop by.
So speaking of that, like that's definitely a huge part of my design process is weed. It definitely helps me a lot because
in the most tasteful way. You do it in the coolest ways. Like the products that you incorporate in your store are so cute, and they're like girly stoner vibes.
Thank you. Well, that's my vibe because it's like I see myself as so hyper feminine, and like that's what I gravitate towards. I've always liked like bright colors and bows and cats and whatever it is, but too. I also smoke weed every day, so I'm like, how do I marry these? I just want my brand to be my vibe, so but I would say I definitely get inspiration from other designers. My favorite designer is Anna Sui, so I'm like constantly inspired by her, especially her vintage like 90s collections. I like Betsy Johnson is a huge inspiration for me, which I think is like pretty apparent. And I go on Pinterest a lot. I try though not to do it too much, because when I get in that trap, it's really hard to come up with original ideas.
Yes.
Yeah. When you're like constantly looking at inspo, because people are so creative, especially on Pinterest. It's like, oh my God, like I want to do exactly that. Like, how did you think of that? So I try to kind of, if I'm actually going to go in to a night and like be like, okay, I'm designing tonight, to like not do that. Maybe I'll watch an old movie and like, smoke a little and like just start drawing and doodling. And a lot of times I start like, especially my earlier collections, like it was really graphic based. So I'll start with like actual artwork, like trying to draw like my cat or like whatever I want it to be. And then figuring out like how that goes on clothing. Now I think more about the clothing first, and the actual structure of the garment, and less about like what I'm putting on it. I mean, both obviously are so important, and I think that's just kind of like how I'm developing as a designer. I think I just didn't really have the skill set in the beginning to even think about the garment first. I was like, okay, I drew this cool picture. How do I put this on clothes? You know?
Because it's easy for designers to get sucked into like what everyone else is doing and the trends. And even when I'm talking to my friends about like their personal style, I always recommend going to a thrift store and just buying what you gravitate towards rather than going to like Zara and buying what everyone else already has. Like I feel like that's a great way to do it, watching old movies and not just getting sucked into what other people are doing.
Totally, because it can be such a trap, and especially if you're doing it, like if you're trying to get inspo on social media, it's all so current that it's like someone just made this. Like you don't want to be doing the same thing everyone else is doing. So I like to look at vintage. I thrift a ton. And like I just watched like the Marie Antoinette movie for inspo. Cute. Like I, just whatever it is, I just try to get inspo in places that are a little bit more obscure, so that I can try to come up with more original ideas. But it's hard. Like I get a block sometimes, like creative block all the time, and I try not to like force myself to like create something if I'm not feeling inspired to.
I was gonna say like not like as a designer, it's probably hard to like set deadlines for yourself, and it's like creatives just need that like time and space to just create.
Totally. And I think like the fact that I am in charge of the business and I am like the creative, like it's obviously I'm flexible with myself and like my deadlines aren't harsh, but I do also know like, okay, these designs need to be sent in like at this point, otherwise we're not gonna have a spring collection. So I think I'm pretty good about that though. Like I don't think it's too hard. I think I just try to start thinking about it enough in advance that like I have a full-fledged idea by the time it's like time to start sketching. So.
Yeah. This isn't on here, but just out of curiosity, what is like your favorite item you've put out to date? And then also what's an item that you put out that like you loved, but maybe it wasn't like selling that well?
It's a good question. I think my favorite thing I've put out to date was
or like a collection or
I mean, okay, our most recent collection is my favorite by far.
Really? Okay.
That's been my favorite for sure and was the most fun for me to design, and I loved it. But like our best selling collection was like the fruit collection we did with like the sun.
Oh my god. I saw so many people wearing it.
Yeah,
like, it did well.
That one did really well, and people really want us to restock it, and we will in the spring, but I'm trying to move on. I'm like, like let's do something else.
Maybe if you do like one restock in the spring, it would do really well, and then
just kind of like do something new. Because we get so many messages every day about that stuff.
It was so cute.
Thank you. No, I loved that collection. I really did. It's just I think like honestly it doing so well made it like oversaturated for me, and I was like sick of it.
Totally get that.
But I would say this collection is probably my favorite. I'm trying to think of a product I really believed in that didn't do well, because most of the products that haven't done well, I don't think I fully wholeheartedly believed in. Yeah, so I think what I'm learning as I go is to really trust my gut, because there are some products that I thought were so weird, like that I was like, no one's gonna like this. Like this is only I would wear this, and then those are the best sellers every time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm like really trying to just go with like not even what I think it will sell, not like thinking about the commercial aspect, but just like I love this and I'm gonna like make it and put it out, and that seems to be what works. So that's kind of what I've been going with. So like we had a few pieces come out, I think it was like last fall, that I was not fully into, I didn't fully believe in, and they didn't do very well. So I think it's never like a shock. There are obviously like in terms of numbers, it's never a shock, but there are people that come in and make comments about something that like maybe I love, where I'm like, whoa, you know?
Like, why would you say that?
Like, that's my favorite thing in the world, but otherwise,
that's such a strange like thing, because I'm thinking like if someone were to listen to our show and just like be giving like live commentary,
it's
negative
weird.
Way, I would like be like,
we're like a coffee shop and someone's like, have you ever heard Gin and Toxic? Yeah, they're so annoying. I'd be like, fuck.
No, it's so weird, but it also is really valuable.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I would not be shocked.
I would be like, right?
Like so true. They are so annoying.
No one would ever say that ever.
Go to our TikTok comments.
The men, they're worthless.
Well, they don't count.
Yeah, they don't count.
Right.
That's what you have to say.
Right.
I'm like, how come a single girl has never commented something mean? But it's always the men.
Right.
I wonder.
Yeah. All right. Well, since this is Gin and Toxic, we're dating relationship show, moving out of the business talk, getting into some juice.
Because we're
gotta,
nosy bitches.
Because we are the nosiest people. We have to ask about your relationship. Well, clearly from your toxic thing of the week, you were single.
Yes,
but talking
I'm
to your
single.
ex. But, we need, the juice. What is your type? And
are
do
you
have,
like dating? Are we on Hinge?
yeah,
Like,
are we on the
okay.
apps? Are we going out? Like,
Doing all of it.
And then
Are
also
we
like,
going
yeah, are we out on the town? Are the girls out? I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm single. Like,
Yeah.
I'm there. And then also like any like good or bad date stories. We love a good date story.
Obsessed, yeah.
Love a date story. The weirder the better.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll start from the beginning though. Okay, so you're single. Are you on the apps? Are you actively dating? Like, how are you feeling?
I am single. I'm pretty recently single. And I'm like, I was never this way, but the past 4 years, I've been like a serial monogamous. Like, I've had like 4 serious relationships, like back to back to back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, which like now, like my friends I've met more recently are like, oh, you're a serial monogamous, but I see myself as like always single. So it's like very, very weird. But yeah, I'm single. I'm on the apps. I use Raya and Hinge, and then I just downloaded Bumble yesterday. So
Which one would you say is the best out of all of them?
Well,
I used to think that Hinge is the best. Been seeing a lot of Hinge slander.
That's why I
recently.
downloaded
It's once
Bumble.
again just oversaturated. Like
Yeah.
Hinge was like kind of newer and like for serious dating, but now it's like, okay, everyone just got on
Yeah.
Hinge.
No,
Like,
it's true.
No, I've been
It's
seeing a lot of people complain on TikTok though about how Hinge isn't showing them attractive people anymore.
Yeah, because it hides them all behind like the roses. You
Yeah,
have
the
to send
standouts. You
them-
gotta send them a rose,
Which is
and then
so
you're like,
embarrassing. Like, I'm not sending a rose.
I'm
No.
not sending you a fucking rose.
I'm like, I like,
Yeah.
I want a man that's gonna send me a rose.
Yeah.
I am not sending a
I
fucking
refuse.
rose.
I will never send
I
a
honestly
rose.
hate the whole, like, I mean, yeah, if a guy sends me one, like, that's one thing, but I'm just like, can we just not do that whole thing?
Yeah.
Can we just take that off?
It's
Like,
so weird. It's like I want to talk to you so bad that I paid for it. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
what
I
the
love it. That's the thing that throws me off about Hinge, because I love the concept of like you have to like something about the person, like you have to like one of their photos or a prompt or something. You don't just like swipe left or right.
right.
But yeah, the rest of their structure throws me off a
Yeah,
little bit.
for
You know,
sure.
I actually found out, I went on a date with this like food blogger guy like 2 weeks ago or whatever. We were talking about it on the date because we matched on Hinge like months ago, and then we like reconnected and finally went on a date. He sent me a rose. And he said that on the date. He was like, yeah, I actually sent you a rose. And I was like, you remember that?
I'm like, that's down
No.
bad. I'm leaving.
No, I literally, I like didn't believe it. I re-downloaded the app just to check. And he was like, yeah. And it was like, his name has sent you a rose. And
my
I was like,
God.
you paid to send me a rose.
Damn.
Honestly, romantic.
I know. I was like, good. Thank you. Like, I would never, but
I would never be caught dead, but
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Okay, so Hinge, Raya, and recently Bumble. What are we thinking is the best
So
and the worst?
the only one I've only been on one Raya date ever, and it was like 2 years ago, and I thought I was in love and never heard from him again. So
Love.
I have
Doesn't
not
it
been on
always
another
go that
Yeah.
way?
So humbling.
I was literally like, this is my man. Like the next
Yeah.
day, telling all of my friends, like, guys, we're in love. We're in love.
Yeah.
And then like the days are passing along, and I'm not getting a text, and I'm like,
yeah, you're like,
Never mind. Scratch
I'm
that.
not sure what's going on here.
Like,
I
me
thought
rejected? What's
Yeah,
happening?
I thought we were getting married.
Yeah.
So that was my only Raya date. I never even opened the app. Hinge, I've been on quite a few dates. Not too recently. I haven't been on like a date since my most recent breakup, but
Okay.
I have one, I think Wednesday.
Oh.
So that's exciting. But my Hinge dates have been like pretty bad.
really?
For the most
Okay.
part, yeah, like the most recent one I went on, I don't know if this is like gonna sound bad to everyone, but like he took me to the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which like if you just like know anything about me, like
For me,
I
no.
would just like never want to see that. And then
First of all, you don't go on a movie on the first date.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
that was weird in the first place, but like we had some mutual friends. I thought he was really cute. He like sold vintage. I was like, okay, this is my vibe, because that's kind of my
Okay,
type.
yeah,
Although
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to change my type, because my type has been unemployed, like poor, like
Unemployed, poor, Losers with mommy issues.
Selling like vintage t-shirts and
Yes.
like, watching them grow hot.
And I'm like eating it up.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
Me as fuck, unfortunately.
Yes.
Literally.
But yeah, so I'm trying to alter my type a little bit. My friends have started
poor.
to kind of,
Right.
you know, be like,
They're like,
"Leah,
girl,
what are you doing?"
come on.
Like, maybe not a 27-year-old who lives at home again.
Yeah.
Please.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Especially because I'm like trying to build a business and I'm like,
Yeah, you're like the
Yeah.
it girl. Like,
I'm
no,
like, let me
babe.
just be your mom.
Yeah,
It's fine. It's fine.
I'll take care of you. I can fix you.
So I'm trying to like, the dates I'm trying to set up for the future are going to be with men with jobs.
Yeah, love that. No, we love
Great
that.
start. Great start. We
The
are
bar
in
is
our
on the
mid-20s.
floor.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for a man with a job. So hit me
Ours
up.
on the floor.
But yeah, so the last date I went on, we went to the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I show up there. He sent me this like ridiculous text beforehand being like, make sure you're there like early, like at least 15 minutes early because they're like really strict at this theater and they won't let you in. So I was like, okay, shit. Like
What theater?
it was like the, what's that one in Fide? It's like the fancy one.
iPicky?
Yeah.
I
Or
pick?
not iPick.
Alamo?
Alamo.
Oh,
yeah.
Alamo. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
the Alamo.
Where they like serve you like dinner
Yes.
or whatever? Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
And that's why I said yes to the movie date because I was like, oh, I haven't been to the Alamo. That's
Yeah.
kind of like nice,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I get there and he's nowhere to be found. And yeah, he was like 30 minutes late after telling me to get there 15 minutes early. So I wait for like 45 minutes.
The audacity.
Yeah, that had never happened to me before, and I was like so ready to leave, but I was scared. I was like, he could arrive at any moment. So when I'm leaving the theater, he's gonna walk past me. So like that anxiety like kept me there. And then he shows up and he was also like, oh, I'm stuck in traffic. So I'm like, oh, you drove here? Like, interesting. Like, you have a car. So anyway, more on that later. But he shows up and he's like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, says nothing about being late. Doesn't give me a hug. Doesn't even like say like, hi, I'm, you know, it was crazy. And so I was like, okay, like, and we go in the theater and it was like horrible. I actually went in the bathroom and like called my best friend. I was like, I really want to leave. And she made me feel guilty about it and made me go back into the theater.
Oh my God.
I know. I was so ready to like just go home.
No.
Oh
my
and then
God.
like he was like kind of awkward too. So I was like, okay, like maybe he's just like off. Like I don't want to be mean, but like this is like horrible. And he's like cracking up the whole movie, like cracking up, and nothing is funny. It's not funny at all.
I just went on a tangent because I just saw like an old film the other day with my boyfriend, and the people behind us would not stop dying laughing at like this. And I was like, okay, I don't care how.
You're
funny
like,
it
there's
is.
no reason to be
In a
dying
movie
laughing
theater,
right
I don't
now.
need you to be like screaming.
No,
laughing.
and it also, I'm sorry, it was the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like there was nothing funny.
No, it's not. It's
Not
not.
a
It's
thing. Oh,
not
also,
funny.
it's like the fourth in a series of movies that I haven't seen the first three. So I have no idea what's going on, and it's
Okay.
a 3.5 hour movie. And he asked me if I had seen, he didn't tell me what movie we were seeing. And then like the day before, he texted me being like, oh, have you seen like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies? And I was like, no, I haven't seen any of them. And he was like, okay, well, we're seeing the fourth one. Like, doesn't change the plan. Yeah, it was
It's
crazy.
basically him just taking himself on a date and you were just like there.
Yeah. And then, okay, so then finally he starts like asking me like one question about myself, and I'm asking him about himself. And he's like, oh yeah, I actually live like in upstate New York with my parents. I drove in for this right now. I was like, what? Like, why are you on Hinge in New York City? Like saying your location's like East Village. Like,
Yeah.
like so random.
Oh
So
boy.
I live in my parents' basement.
yeah, like
Yeah.
upstate. Like I drove an hour to get here.
Oh
That's
my
why I was late.
God.
I was like, okay, this is crazy. So anyways, went home, didn't talk to him again. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
But
that's
anyways-
such a bizarre.
But
Wait,
that's
is
because I
that
was going
the
after-
worst date you've been on, or do you
definitely
have
not.
Do you
No.
have a worse one that you remember? I even like when I'm on a first date with a guy, like if I'm feeling out the vibes and they're good, and you know, normally you're not supposed to talk about like exes or dates or whatever, but like it's just in my blood because we do a fucking dating show. It is the greatest icebreaker to ask somebody what
About
is the
their
worst
worst date.
first date you've had.
Yeah.
It is
No, it
just
is.
like
It's good.
Yeah.
it is the most impeccable icebreaker. One of my exes,
gonna use that.
NYU Big Dick, he went on a first date with a girl and she threw up in his lap.
I do recall.
Yeah.
I do recall.
I will never forget that. I was like,
That is
damn.
horrible.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
No, it's my roommate always says sometimes like she'll go on a date and be like, wait, that was fun, and then she's like, no, I'm fun. He
Yeah.
wasn't
Right.
that fun.
Right.
He was just like laughing at my jokes.
Right.
I think about that all the time, and I think part of my issue is that I'm not that interested in what most men have to say.
Like,
so I go and I sit there and I talk about myself for like an hour.
Yes.
And then I'm like,
this. and then I went there, and I was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, you're here. I forgot.
Yeah. And then like I get home, I'm like, oh my God, I love him. He was perfect. And my friends are like, okay, tell me one thing about him. And I'm like, I didn't ask him a single question.
No.
It's so bad.
Right.
So I'm definitely trying to work on that. I might steal the what's your worst first date story?
I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing. And also, it does tell you a lot about them also. Because like there have been some guys where I've asked like, what's your worst first date? And they'll tell me something.
Had bad breath.
Yeah, like it'll either be something that's like actually a bad date or something that I'm like, could you have caused this? Like my first, you know, my first thought is like when they're like, oh my God, this girl's crazy. I'm like, okay, but what did you do?
Yeah, absolutely, every
react?
time.
Yeah.
But no, I think I haven't had any like horrible dates. I've had horrible relationships, and I've had horrible
love.
I mean, I've been a horrible date. My best friend and I went through like a double dating phase. So I made my Hinge prompt like something about like take us on a double date, like if you have a friend for a double date, which is a lot of work, by the way, to set up those double dates because men like don't have friends or whatever, like, or they just refuse to bring them.
The male loneliness
epidemic.
It's
crazy.
You've been talking about it
men like don't
every
have friends
day.
or whatever.
No,
So what's that about?
It's crazy, like trying to get a man to find a friend to come on a double
100%.
date is like pulling teeth. It's so hard.
So true.
And I was working around the clock setting these up for me and my best friend. She was doing none of the work. I was lifting all the heavy
friends
weights.
that they'll like drink with and go out with.
Yeah.
But men don't have like real friends that they would like
sit down and want to
like have lunch with,
like conversate,
or go to a park with.
like
it's really
just
sad,
girl
honestly.
Yeah,
it's
so
really sad.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, I would hate that. That's a horrible life. But anyway, like we went through a phase like that, and we would get blackout every time and just like make a fool out of ourselves. Like, so I've been a really bad date. Yeah. Like I was like, we thought we were also in love with these guys. We went on this date with like these Canadian guys, and we were so hammered, and they were probably sober, like I don't even know, but we thought we were having such a good time. But then we were like having other guys at the bar buy us drinks, like we were being like insane. And then the next day when they like didn't text us, we were like, what's going on? Like
why?
We're in love.
We are so fun.
We were like,
we're literally in love. I'm so confused.
So what I'm getting from this, you can answer if I'm right or wrong. Are you like a hopeless romantic? Do you fall quick?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
You're either like, I don't care and I'm gonna have fun, or it's
or you're like, this is my man.
Definitely.
It's fine. I'm the same way, unfortunately.
Definitely. I'm trying to work on it.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I just want to find my person.
No, I feel like that's a good way to be. I feel like it's the people who are just like, I don't want a relationship. It's like, okay, there's something deeper there. Like,
Yeah,
no, exactly.
I think that's true.
It's a good way to be.
At like the point of life that you're in and whatnot. We went on a rant in an episode kind of recently where we were talking about like men in their 30s that go on the apps and they're like, oh, I'm not really looking for anything serious, and it's like why?
What the fuck do you mean?
That is insane to me. That is
Are you a frat boy?
Like criminal behavior. I actually just added
criminal behavior.
No, it is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I just added to my dating apps that I'm looking for a long-term relationship. And I was so scared to do that because I was like, I know so many people are going to swipe left just because of that.
Good, though.
But I'm like, good. Let's eliminate them, because every time I see like that they're looking for something casual and they're like 38 years old, I'm like, what are you doing?
Or like, I don't know, unless honestly anything like 25 and above, I'm just like, why though? Doesn't everyone want a partner? Am I missing something?
And maybe they don't, and I guess that's fine. But it's like, I'm not.
Yeah, but
I don't want to be involved in that. Yeah.
So you're a relationship girl.
I think I am. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And I definitely want, like, I'm at the point, I'm about to turn 26, and all of my friends, I feel like, are pretty much with the person they're going to be with. So I'm, like,
Me
ready.
too.
Yeah.
I'm in this boat. She has a man.
Yeah.
My other friend's, like, about to get married.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
I'm literally going to one of my best friends and, like, my college roommate's wedding this month. And I'm like,
God.
it's getting too real, you know?
We're 24. We're not like quite there, right? I feel like none of my friends are getting married, but I have a few friends where I'm like, it could happen in the next year or two.
Yeah. No,
Which is
I
so
see a lot of
crazy.
engagements coming up. Like Raquel and Kevin, my friend, they're 100% within the next like year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
6 months even, I would bet on it.
I'm like, wait, I still feel like I'm 19 years old. So
yeah, no.
Same.
I know. I'm literally like, why is everybody getting engaged and having babies? Like, my toxic trait is that like my friends that are in their like mid to late 20s, and when they like announce that they're pregnant, I'm like, you're a teen mom.
You're a teen mom.
You're a teen mom.
Yeah,
Call the authorities.
Yeah. I'm like, how dare you have a child at 28? Like,
It's crazy. But it is, it's getting really real. And I think I am just ready to like meet my person. Like I'm so excited to get married one day.
Yeah.
And I feel like
we're like the same way. We're relationship girls.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I feel so
through,
corny saying it, but it's like I don't care about like I hate going on dates. I hate like trying to meet someone new, asking them what their favorite color is. Like I don't want to do that. So yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever played We're Not Really Strangers?
Yes.
I was going to say, it's a great, not first date, but like a second or third date. If you're like actually starting to feel like good with the guy and everything, great game to play.
My most recent ex and I think played that a lot, like our second, third time hanging out. And I think that's like why. Because he was not interested in a relationship. This is a good way to trick someone into dating you, honestly, is we're not really strangers.
Baby.
It didn't work out long term. He basically cheated on me, but he did. He was not interested in a relationship at all. We were just hanging out. It was casual. I wasn't really interested either, but like fell in love with me after that, you know? Like we're not really strangers. It gets people to their
it does get deep quick. I never played that, but I played like Serena Kerrigan's Let's Fuck game.
I haven't played that.
It goes in a different direction.
Yeah.
But it's still good.
It's still fun.
No, it is
still
actually,
steamy.
especially if you're like into the guy and you're comfortable with each other, it's really fun.
Yeah.
I bet it
recommend.
is. I need to get that one.
Or if you're just like, I don't want anything serious with this guy, but I just want to hook up. Like, it's a really good icebreaker. It's fun.
You know what I just thought? My SFK cards, Hannah has them.
Yeah.
She's in
Sayonara.
California, so
no.
I'm not getting those back.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Whatever. I have We're Not Really Strangers here, though, and I also have I have 2 extension packs for it. I have the relationship one and the relationship to self one. Where like you like I got the relationship to self one because I would like get the cards and I would like when I was like down bad in like 2021, I would like pull the cards out like one every night and whatever the question was, I would like journal about it. And it's like questions that it's like you play it with yourself and it's like does like you know, obviously it has the levels that like you reflect on like yourself. Yeah, shit gets really deep.
Yeah. It does. It gets so deep. Yeah. It's a really good way to get to know someone though. It really works.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right. Well, I mean,
we touched on everything. We got your life story. I love it.
That was really great.
You
I
killed
like
it.
this. Yeah, you absolutely killed it. So we'll wrap this little part up, and then obviously me and Lily will go into gin and tips after this, guys. But tell the people where they can find you, your brand, all, you know, your whole spiel, anything you want to promote.
Totally. So you can come to our Les Miss brick and mortar location. It's at 283 Mott Street. It's on Mott between Houston and Prince in New York City. You can also find us online at www.lesmissnyc.com and on Instagram at Les Miss NYC. That's LESMISSNYC. And yeah, I'm Leah Hazel on Instagram. You don't have to check me out.
No, check her out.
We'll have the links and the address and like all of that stuff. Everything will be in the episode description, obviously, if you guys are watching. So, yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys so much. It was so fun.
I'm like motivated. I'm like, I'm gonna open a store tomorrow.
Let's do it. You can do it.
We'll do a G&T merch collab. Like,
oh my god,
hell yeah,
please.
All right, so Leah was absolutely fabulous.
Yeah,
you guys already
absolutely
knew that.
killed it. What a gal.
No, absolutely. Great episode in our humble opinion. But we think every episode is a great episode because we are us. Anyways, we're going to get right into gin and tips. All right, so we got this DM. So it's a little bit of a workplace romance-drama.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
This is a bit of me.
This is a little drama.
It's giving work day.
All right. She said, workplace drama with one of my coworkers' girlfriend. Yeah. She said, so to give some background, I worked in this job back in the summer of 2022, just for 3 months. During this time, there was a guy that me and him had a lot of really flirty banter, but nothing happened between the two of us because I was going back to college. Then this summer of 2023, I went back to the job and he was still working there, but he had started dating another girl that worked there. When I heard this, she said, when I heard this, I just said, okay, we could just be friends because he's a very nice guy and we have a lot in common.
And nothing ever happened.
Yeah, no, nothing actually happened. So yeah, she said on my first day, his girlfriend wasn't in work. So we caught up and we chatted for ages, but it was just a quick short chat, no flirting at all. The next day, I started talking to him, but he seemed off. He wasn't really looking at me when I talked to him, so I was just kind of confused because I was just trying to chat with him to pass the time, but he didn't seem like himself. And then his girlfriend walked past us, and he immediately stopped speaking to me, and he just looked away from me. And the girl gave me the dirtiest look. I felt so horrible, but to me, I was just having a conversation. Anyways, in attempts to not cause any drama between them, I backed off from him for a while, not speaking to him much, and then I noticed that he would only come over and talk to me when she wasn't around, if she was on break, etc. I always got the impression that he wanted to speak to me, but he felt like he couldn't when his girlfriend was around. I just never understood I never understood why the girlfriend would have such an issue with us talking, since she didn't know me, because she started working there after I left, and also because nothing actually happened between me and this guy. I didn't even think that he liked me. I have tried to be friendly with her and get to know her because she seems nice enough otherwise, but I seem to be the only girl that she ignores. The girl has no reason to be territorial, as nothing between me and him happened. Do you think the girlfriend is just being territorial, or is it an issue with him? Should I try and talk to her to try and patch things up, or do I just let them be and not speak to him again? Ugh. Okay, so in my opinion, there's a lot of layers.
Yeah.
Because I see both sides. I see all sides. There's 3 sides. There's this girl's side, there's the girlfriend side, and then there's this guy's side. For the guy, it kind of sucks, because if there really was nothing, flirty anymore and he just wants to be friends with this girl, then it kind of sucks that the girlfriend's being territorial. Then again, I feel like the girlfriend wouldn't be acting this way.
Sometimes there's more to the story.
Yeah. I feel like the girlfriend wouldn't be acting this way if she truly thought that they were just really platonic. It might be 2 things. Either A, he did slip and tell her that he was flirty with the girl that, sent us something. He did tell her that they were flirty the previous summer, and that's why she's being territorial. Or she's being territorial just because maybe she is just, she doesn't like her boyfriend talking to other women.
Insecure.
And obviously because they used to flirt and they, it's another woman that he gets along with in the workplace, then there could be something there. So I don't know. I see all sides of it. To answer the question though, she said, do you think the girl is just being territorial, or do you think it's an issue with him?
Sometimes there's a chance though that the guy maybe the guy actually had a crush on the girl and told his girlfriend, I used to have a crush on this girl.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Not knowing she would maybe come back to the job. Obviously, he probably told her that they were flirty, but maybe he actually had feelings for her, and that's why she's more cautious. Or it's either that, or she's just an insecure girl.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think it's definitely one or the other.
Yep.
100%.
But even then, I don't think there's a need to be that cold. You do not need to be friends at all. I would definitely be okay, I don't really want to be friends with a girl that had a history with my boyfriend, but I'm also I don't think I would be cold either.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's
but maybe they're young too, so it's
I know. Well, she did say college.
Yeah, young me would have been a cunt for sure.
Yeah, but also she said is it the girlfriend being territorial, or is it an issue with him? It depends on if, I feel because also we don't know, we were saying, we don't know if the girlfriend knows about the previous flirting.
Yeah,
because if she's upset because they're talking and she knows that they previously flirted, then I think that's kind of on the guy and whatnot, because that would make me uncomfortable.
Yeah. No,
I'm pretty secure girl, but it would make you uncomfortable.
No, it would make me uncomfortable. I wouldn't want them chit-chatting. I would be friendly with the girl, in a work way, but I wouldn't want them chit-chatting alone.
Yeah, exactly. On the other hand, he would maybe, or not him be the issue, if she doesn't know and she's just being kind of territorial and stuff. Given that nothing has gone down, that he wasn't being unloyal in the relationship or something, then it might just be that he needs to talk to her about that, about, boundaries and, being that territorial person and letting him speak to other women. She also said, do you think I should talk to her and try to patch things up, or do I just let them be and not speak to him again?
Okay, I would say to do that if it was a scenario where that was one of your best friends, or if it's a scenario where you can't escape them. But if this is a summer job, keep it moving.
Yeah, I think keep it moving. Or I think you don't need to light the fire. If it's bothering you that much, then when you get the chance to talk to the guy, then I don't think you should go to the girl first.
No.
In this situation, only because she doesn't know if you like. What if she's just being territorial and she doesn't know that you guys were flirting?
You'll just add fuel to the fire.
You'll make it worse. So I think clarify with the guy. Does she know that we were like flirting? Well, also she said she doesn't know if the guy actually liked her back, but she said there was flirting and stuff. But she could very easily talk to this guy and be like,
yeah,
I'm just like trying to be friendly, like with your girlfriend. I feel like she's giving me a little bit of the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know why?
Yep.
Like, do you think like
continue being
because
the bigger
I've
person,
known you
though.
longer? Like,
yep,
you know, bring it up. Yeah, exactly. Be the bigger person
and just be nice. Like, don't be overly nice, or it's coming off like as fake. But like, just be nothing but nice to her, and she'll have no reason to like not like you, other than maybe a past with your boyfriend.
I mean, like, some people are just like, you know, some girls are just insecure or just don't like that, and they'll just be a bitch and it's like whatever.
I definitely like wouldn't want my boyfriend like chit-chatting or like hanging out alone with the girl, but like in a work scenario, like I think you have to be like kind to each other, but like
a sense of professionalism,
especially
too.
Because they didn't like sleep together or do anything more. Now if they slept together, babe, like that would be a little different.
That'd be much more different.
I'd be like, sorry, you can't work here.
Yeah,
that's
quit your job.
No, quit your job.
But yeah, no. So I think this is exactly why we want to start doing call-ins, because like I want layers. I need more details. But yeah, so
I need every detail. Yeah, honestly.
So I feel like the best thing this girl, I feel like either just kind of like, because here's the thing, he has a girlfriend now, regardless.
So why would you
move on?
Yeah, just like keep it moving, and if it comes to a point where it's like causing a lot of issues at work, or whatever, talk to him when she's not around, just to be like. Would there be a reason?
Yes. Yeah. If it's causing issues at work and there's like hostility at work, then yes, that would be a reason to talk about it. But if it's not really causing hostility and it's just kind of like bothering you, like then it just he has a girlfriend. That's his decision. He has a girlfriend now. She's kind of annoyed by you guys talking. Like that's honestly very understandable from her point of view.
Yep.
So
and like I'm assuming it's like a restaurant job or like a part-time kind of one of those jobs. Like, just go in, do your thing, and leave. Like, honestly, I've gotten way too caught up in, like, small business drama. And it's like, what is this for? Just keep it moving and do your own thing.
Oh, well. All right. Well, that's about it.
Yes, that is it. Well, nice that we had a guest this week. I feel like we, like, haven't had one in a while, and that, like, shook it up a little bit. So I hope you guys 100%. Enjoyed.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Gin Toxic Podcast. DM us. We still want you guys to DM us like your submissions for gin and tips. You can give us the gist, and if it's good, then we will DM. Oh my god, I almost just burped. My bad. Then we will DM you back and be like, hey, we want you to be our call-in this week and like talk more about this. So continue sending in those submissions. And then you might be picked, and then we'll do call-ins, and it'll be fun. You can find us on our personal social media accounts. They're always linked in the episode description, and we will see you guys in next week's episode.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. You know how I was like, oh, like, let's do the fucking...